Hi, my name is Samra Zafar and I'm the author of A Good Wife. When I was 16, my mom came into my room one day and told me that I have a marriage proposal from this man who's 11 years older, who's living in this faraway country called Canada. And a year later, I arrived in this country as his wife. I became a mom just after I turned 19. I couldn't get an education, couldn't go out of the house, have any independence, any kind of freedom whatsoever. My job was to stay home and protect that family honor. The first few years of marriage, it was a lot of name calling, a lot of neglect. You're worthless, you're useless, you're not good enough, you're not worthy of love and respect. And when you hear that on a daily basis, you start believing that. Even at my sister's wedding in Pakistan, in a fit of anger, my ex-husband slapped me, threw me to the floor, kicked me in my stomach, and I got up, went to the bathroom, put splash water on my face and covered the bruise in makeup and just went down and started to laugh and dance with everybody else because I didn't want people to find out. And I was so ashamed and I was carrying that shame in myself. During even those dark times, there was this flicker of hope that maybe one day I can go to school. And even though I had no hope, practically speaking, but I would still stand in front of a mirror and with a piece of paper rolled up in my hand and practice an acceptance speech that I would give on my graduation day, and just kept the hope alive. So I finished all my high school courses through distance learning. I started working as a babysitter and tutor to save money and go to school and go to university. And then finally, at the age of 26, after 10 years of marriage and 2 children, I was finally sitting in my first ever lecture, Economics 100, at the University of Toronto, Mississauga. I got there like 15 minutes early and just sat there in the middle row, middle seat, in the entire empty lecture hall, and big goofy smile, tears running down my face, and I'm like, I'm actually in school, is this really happening? And so probably one of the best days of my life, absolutely. A few days later, I was sitting across from my counselor and the floodgates just opened and I started saying, can you please tell me what's wrong with me? Why can't I be a better wife? My counselor basically says the one sentence that I believe changed my life. And she said, Samra, it's not your fault. No matter what you do not deserve to be abused. I was finally able to muster the courage, and it actually happened one day when he slapped me. And I was standing in front of a mirror, and instead of usually reaching for my makeup as I normally would to cover the bruise, I just stood there for 15 minutes talking to myself and telling myself that I have to walk away. I also had learned through counseling that there's a generational cycle to abuse, and kids who grow up exposed to family violence will learn to normalize it, and they will either inflict it upon others or they will tolerate it for themselves. And I did not want my daughters to grow up thinking that it was okay to be treated this way. If I were to meet my 16-year-old self, I would tell her that she's a champion. Opening those books every single night after all the abuse that she faced, and solving those math questions and doing those economics graphs and not giving up on her dreams, because this wouldn't exist if she had given up. So I would just tell her that I'm really, really proud of her and she's my hero.